Okay, so today's improvement. So when you're packing downstairs parcels, we have the order paperwork that has a label on. You peel the label off and then you put it onto one of the boxes. But the problem is when when you have a stack of paperwork, you're forever having to either sort through them or walk all the way around here to the bin when you've got a pile that's done to then put them in the bin. So it's going to come up with a better way. Okay, so I've just modified this bin, put two little brackets on the side so it hooks onto the cage. So every time that they are packing now, you can come up and down the aisle with the cage, and then when you're done with the paperwork, you can simply put it in the top of the bin, put the full cage outside, move the bin onto the next cage, and then you can continue your work rather than having to do 4 or 5 trips backwards and forwards to the bin every time. Thank you very much.
Right, for the keyboard, when I type up something up, it don't like come up. I don't know what cable it's for. It's 2 little cables, so I'm going to improve that. Right now, I'm putting it now, label the keyboard, so I know that's the cable and the keyboard. Type something up. Thank you.
So today's improvement will be finding out where your R36 is and then putting the label back where it should be. I think it's there. So now it's back to how it should be, which is keeping upstairs a premium. Everything's labelled. You now know if you got something on a piece of paper that says you are 36, you now know you're going to the correct location and the label's not just floating around on the floor anymore. So thank you everyone.
I've had this scrappy piece of paper on my desk for a little bit. It's about the naming conventions, the sizes on the new Planters website. So rather than using that, I'm keep referring to it and looking through my list of documents. I've put it there on the screen. So now I've got the width and the heights and what I call them. As I walked into the office just now, I've noticed that poster's on the floor. So it used to be blue tack up there, it's obviously fallen off, so I'm sorting it out. So here we go, it's back on the wall now. As it's LL670, I've actually about 2023, so the blue tack on there is pretty old, pretty worn out by now, so just replace the blue tack and just down there now. As part of my plans to rid my desktop things I don't need, I've made a little bracket to hold my fan. So this little 3D printed thing, it clips on the base of the fan, and around here at the back it's got a little mounting plate just about here. So I've screwed that on and now it just sits on top of my screen quite nicely there. I'm going to tilt at the right angle as well, so it shoots down at me rather than being down there and have to go upwards. Just nice little improvement. If I'm needing to do something testing out the phone line for Indoor Outdoors tool, I don't actually have it saved in my phone, so I have to constantly go onto the website and do what it is, type it in and then call it. So I'm going to try and fix that. So here we go, the Indoor Outdoors phone number is now saved in my phone, so if I ever need to test it again, I've got to go to contact rather than having to look it up on the website and type it in manually.
Okay, so today's improvement. So we've recently got some new A4 leaflets to go out on our pallets. And what we've done, or what Jake has done for us, is just literally add in on the paperwork that make sure you include A4 pallet leaflet inside the shrink wrap, just so we make sure that nothing gets missed when the pallets are being shipped out. Thank you very much.
I kept having issues on my desktop with running out of storage, so what I've done is on the drive, I've come up here and I've made a completed shoots and video data, just so if we need to go back in and access the files again, I know exactly where it is, and obviously as it's on the drive, we don't have to worry about running out of space. So on Trello we have this column called waiting on colours from when we're doing photo shoots, we're just waiting for things to come around in the right colour so we can get everything. Now that's not as relevant as we don't do multiple versions of colours, so we can use Photoshop to change it. So what I'm going to do is just remove this card and save some space on Trello. On the top lip of this trolley we have the words prototype storage. Now down here is prototype storage, but up here it's a multi-use area, so this area is used by the content team and this area by admin, so let's update our signage. So here's the after, we've got 2 individual signs now, we've got one for content team and one for admin, which is looking a lot better.
This door has been getting used more and more now that we've got our studio out the back. We were using a wok before to stop it, so using just an offcut of wood, I've made a door wedge that keeps it open nicely.
Under here is getting a bit dusty, so I'm just going to pull it all out and give it a good old clean. And here's the after, all nice and clean. Great job everyone, thank you very much.